Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Early Edge. My name is Sia Nejad, and we are brought to you by BetMGM. Make it legendary. Stephen Cuccarelli doing my job for me. He says, bash the like button on the way in. I do want to bring in the stars of the show, but we got to look at the recap screen first. Speaking of like buttons, maybe the opposite here. We have a pretty bad day. All our pre-flop plays lose. If you remember on the recap screen yesterday, Buckets had hit that live play. A lot of you got on it, so we had it included. So we have it here, but listen, the pre-flop plays from Tom. Nevada had a nice early lead. The Devils, but they gave it up. The Devils, that one got away from the Devils quickly. In West Virginia, last second three-pointer from Cincinnati to tie it up. Avoids the cover and ends up being a 2-point victory instead of a 3-point victory. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll turn it around with the stars of the show. Listen, we've had an okay week. We went 5-1 the day before, 7-6 the day before that, but we've got Buckets, Mikey B, Martin Green, and Danny Brasco to turn things around today. Two soccer guys. Martin Green, what's going on?
It's all going on, Sia. We've got a full slate of Premier League action today. There's Serie A games. There's a Portuguese Cup semi-final. So lots of soccer. Delighted to be on with you fine gentlemen talking about it.
All right, we got Mike McClure in the chat talking about whatever you want to talk about. Take advantage of that and ask him anything you want. Danny Brasco, how you doing? And are you here with NFL? We're still on a UFC break. We're not – Paramount Plus has not rolled out the red carpet quite yet.
No, it's that 6-week hiatus can't come soon or can't end soon enough. January 24th, we're waiting for Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett. That's the big headliner. Amanda Nunes versus Kayla Harrison, but we wait longer. I'm here for playoff football. Sia, Mike saying in the chat, I cannot wait for these games, and I got a pick that I'm ready to lay the hammer on.
I actually have a pick that, because I cheated and I looked at your pick, I have a pick that sort of ties in with your pick kind of nicely, and I can't wait to get your opinion on it. It's a bit of an NFL Super Bowl-ish type future. Buckets, what was going on with your hair? For the audio listeners, you were like trying to part it and like heartthrob hair or something. What was going on there?
I don't even know, man. I was just fixing it. I just want to say, Sia, I don't know if this is on I don't know if this is on purpose, but anytime I go on a cold streak on the early edge, all of a sudden Martin the Guru Green comes on, and it feels like an older brother or a father figure that's coming on to be like, Buckets, come on now, like let's turn it around. So it's always good to see Martin, but usually it's a bad omen for me for some reason.
Well, you two will be on CBS Sports Network with me later on from 12 to 1. We're going to do a lot of college football, but we're going to do some EPL as well. Mikey B, I trust you've got some NBA. How's the NBA slate looking today? And then we'll get into picks.
Very busy tonight. There are a few back-to-back situations that we have to monitor, but a big slate. I believe it's 12 games. We got a lot to look at tonight. See you.
All right. We got a lot of picks to get through as well. And by the way, we have a SportsLine pick with college basketball, but I know we have a big slate today, and I just want everybody to know there's a lot on the horizon. Obviously, UFC picks with Danny Brasco. Golf picks are finally coming back next week thanks to the Sony Open kicking things off. But I will tell you that we are committed to trying to get more college basketball on here and a college basketball voice pretty much every day. So a lot coming, like especially within the next week or so. It's the amount of picks and the sports that we're going to cover. We're really going to lean into all of that I just talked about. But Buckets, let's lean into a couple of soccer picks right now.
Absolutely, Sia. I'm going to give us two Premier League plays, and then Martin, I think, is going to do the same here, and we are on different angles, so we're hitting as many matches as we can. I'm going to start with the matchup as Crystal Palace are hosting Aston Villa, because I just don't agree with what's going on in this fixture. A lot of times when I'm on a cold streak, you'll see me kind of give out some minus 130s, some minus 140s, kind of get some comfort picks to try to get a check mark, but I'm not doing that here. I'm on Aston Villa over 1.5 team total, which is plus 120, and frankly, Martin, I need a fancier word than just dumb line, but this is a very, very dumb line for me. What's a better word for dumb?
Foolish.
This is a foolish line being placed down by the bookies on this one. Aston Villa should not be playable at plus money with the form they are in ever. I know that they lost badly to Martin's Arsenal, and all of a sudden people are going, oh, maybe Unai Emery's not that good. Oh, maybe Aston Villa's not cut. They still have won 12 of their last 13 matches, and the one loss came to the best team in all of Europe. Now they're playing a Crystal Palace team, and Crystal Palace has not been great. They're still missing big names to injury. They're still missing players to AFCON, and we're getting an Aston Villa team that has scored 2+ goals in 9 of their last 10 fixtures at plus money. Unai Emery is fighting for a Champions League top 4 spot, and Crystal Palace is not the team that's going to slow them down. We got similar lines when they played Forest last week. Aston Villa smacked 3 past them. I absolutely love this Aston Villa squad, and I love that we're getting plus money for a bet that I would have taken at minus 120 here. Second bet, I'm going to my controversial matchup here as Everton are hosting Wolves. Wolves, the worst Premier League team we've seen in a very, very long time. But do you hear that? Do you hear that faint little bum, 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 bum?
I hear it.
Bum, bum, bum. Do you guys hear that?
Totally
that is
hear
the
it.
heartbeat of Wolves. This side has not given up. This team, there's still something in the distance. There's a chance that they can turn things around. And frankly, they've looked pretty damn good in the past recent weeks. They got their first win against West Ham 3-0. But before that, they scored against Liverpool. They scored against Man United. They scored against Man United again, and they scored against Arsenal. This is a team that understands the position they're in, has created a scenario in which they can't sit back. They can't park the bus. They can't play for these cagey draws. They have to press and they have to shoot the damn ball. And that's what they're doing. I love both teams to score here at minus 110. I know that Everton at home can be a cagey team, but Wolves have nothing to do right now other than to press and to try to make something happen on the offense. I don't know who's going to win this game. I wouldn't be shocked if we saw a 1-1 draw, but Wolves have to press for goals, and I'm going to continue to bet them both teams to score every single week while I can.
All right, we've got a lot of questions in the chat. We're covering all sports, which we're going to get to. Make sure you hit the like button while you're asking your question, while you're in the chat. Buckets, go ahead.
Before I even gave out my play, Jeff Stewart said, Buckets and Martin, how can we not hammer Aston Villa team total at plus 120? I got you, Jeff. Martin, do you like the play, though? Just checking you as well.
Love the play, Buckets. Yeah, I haven't picked that for one of my official plays, but I really like Aston Villa just on the money line in this game. I agree with everything you said. Yeah, we have picks for every Premier League game, I think, taking place today on the network show. I think we'll be on at about 5:45 maybe with Sia.
Yeah. Oh, not in your 12:30 my time.
Yeah,
12:45.
12:45 Eastern time is when you two will be on with me talking soccer, giving out picks pretty much on every game, multiple picks actually. By the way, real quick, before we get to Mikey B, we're going to get to your 2 NBA picks. There's a lot of NBA comments and questions in the chat as well, which we'll get to. Bucket said scenario. I'm not criticizing it. Do y'all say scenario or scenario? Brasco, what do you think? Scenario or scenario?
Scenario, Aereo. Yeah.
I say Aereo too. Martin?
Scenario.
Yeah, that's what I thought you would say. Mikey B?
Yeah, scenario. This is a cultural difference here.
Bucket's been hanging with Guru over the pond. He's going Aereo. Now, he's about to spell color with a U.
Okay, before we get to VJ Edgecombe and Con Knipple, Jaguars or Jaguars? Buckets, go. Let's do this quickly.
You said the same word twice. What?
Well, okay, so say it back to me then.
Jaguars.
Oh my gosh. Mikey B, go ahead.
Jaguars.
Ooh, you kind of split the baby there. I didn't mind that. Martin Green.
Split the baby?
We're much closer to Jaguars. I'd say Jaguars.
What is happening? These are like I thought it was just
crazy.
I thought this was like a binary thing, like one of two. Brasco, go ahead.
Guru's saying it like the commercial, right? Jaguar. I'm saying Jaguar. I don't understand how the wire ever got
I don't
in there.
understand that either. Thank you.
But I think M2's in the chat. I think he says Jaguars. Larry, I think, says Jaguars. I hear it from a lot of people. So, hey, man, whatever floats your boat.
That's so strange to me, but a lot of smart people say it that way. I don't know. Anyway, let's go to, something somewhat easier to say. VJ Edgecombe and Con Knipple. Those aren't the easiest names, but we got a couple of picks. Mikey B, talk to me.
It's rookie day for me. I'm going with 2 rookies player props. First, we're going to do Edgecombe over 9.5 rebounds and assists at minus 122. He's averaging 38 minutes over the last 11 games. For the season, he's averaging 5.4 rebounds and 4.1 assists in 36 minutes a night. Great matchup here against the Wizards, who have the second worst defensive rating in the league. They've allowed the most rebounds per game and the third most assists per game. He has played them twice this season. In both of those games, he combined for at least 10 rebounds and assists. And in one of them, he only played 24 minutes because the Sixers had a blowout win. So I like him to go over 9.5 rebounds and assists. And then I know this one will make the chat happy. The Raptors, 4th best defensive rate in the league. So why do I like this over? Well, Knipple scored at least 18 points in 10 of his last 11 games. The one time he didn't, he had 16 points in 15 minutes before leaving with an injury. He faced the Thunder, who have the best defensive rate in the league in his last game, and he had 23 points in 28 minutes. He has already played the Raptors 3 times this season. In those 3 games, 24, 20, and 21 points. I'm not letting this Raptors defensive rating shy me away from taking Con Knippel over 17.5 points. And it has moved in some places to 18.5. I would play that as well.
All right. Yeah, I know that was a question in the chat. A lot of other NBA questions and comments in the chat that we're going to get to. But if you want to bet on Con Knippel or VJ Edgecombe or really anything NBA related, BetMGM players will receive a no sweat token to apply to any bet on the NBA tonight. So if your NBA bet loses, don't worry, you'll receive bonus bets back. Again, an odds boost token, score a bigger payout, courtesy of BetMGM. And I do want to remind everyone, it looks like some people have already responded. I typed in the chat, hey, if you joined the Splash Sports contest, again, it's free. There's 5,000 on the line. And I do want to clear something up because my tweet yesterday was probably a little ambiguous. This is through the playoffs. This contest, $1,500 to first place, $1,000 to second, really good money down the top 10, $5,000 at play for this free contest. It goes through the playoffs, which makes a lot of sense because we only have so many games to choose from in the wild card round. But again, all you need to do is go to splashsports.com/early edge, register for the contest. It's the same app. It's the same link that we used for our previous contest. So shouldn't be hard to find. And if you're already in the app and you don't want to click the link for whatever reason, in the search function, just type in CBS Sports and then CBS Sports Commish will pop up and then you can find the contest from there. There's a couple of contests that CBS Sports Commish is sponsoring, one a college football one that I think has been going the whole season. Danny Brasco, are you registered for the contest yet?
I need to. I'm Mike McClure talking some British, a bit odd in it that I'm not signed up for this contest yet. Man, I really need to hear some more guru slang. No, Sia, I need to get on board.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. We sometimes we wait and then we realize it's kickoff on Saturday and then we're like, oh, I guess I forgot to join this free contest with $5,000 on the line. So go ahead and do that right now. Let's look at a SportsLine pick. This one, courtesy of Larry. He missed his yesterday, hit the one the day before that. And honestly, very easily could hit both of those. St. Louis plus 2.5 is his play, minus 108. Again, that one courtesy of the Maestro. All right, we got to get to more picks, more NFL. A lot of questions, soccer and NBA related in the chat. We're going to get to all of that right after this message from our partners.
The new era of UFC on Paramount Plus comes out swinging. The highlight machine collides with the Liverpool phenom, and the Hall of Famer returns to take on the bantamweight champion. UFC 324, Saturday, January 24th, only on Paramount Plus.
All right, before we transition to the NFL, Danny Brasco doing the shadow boxing. You'd love to see it. Martin Green, you have a couple of plays as well. What are they?
I do indeed, Sia. Thank you. Yeah, as I said, we're giving picks on every Premier League game. So for this show, I've just chosen my favourite of the bunch. And it is Newcastle, who are playing Leeds at home at St James's Park today. They're really back in business after beating Burnley and Crystal Palace in the past week. They have a pretty strong home record this season, 6 wins so far, and the fans are going to be really fired up for today's clash with Leeds. The atmosphere should be really intense inside St James's Park, and that could power Newcastle to victory. Leeds are really poor on the road. They're great at home, but they really struggle on the road. 6 defeats from 10 away games, and I think they could just be outfought and outclassed here. So I'm going for a straightforward moneyline win at minus 138. Got lots of plus money plays for the network show a bit later as well. And just to cast my net a bit further afield, I'm looking at a parlay which takes in an Italian and a Portuguese team. So in Italy, we've got the champions Napoli. They should extend their winning streak to 5 games when they host Verona. They've been really strong at home this season. 6 wins and a draw from 7 games in Naples. Verona have the second worst away record in Serie A. They've lost their last 2 away games against Napoli. None of it bodes well, so I think Napoli win that one pretty comfortably. And I'm combining it with Benfica draw no bet. I did want to go for a Benfica moneyline win, but I'm just playing it a little bit safer. Benfica are in the semi-finals of the Portuguese League Cup. They're unbeaten in their past 22 domestic matches, so I really don't see them losing this one. They're 10 points behind Porto in the Portuguese League, so they're not going to win that. And this competition is now crucial for manager Jose Mourinho. He'll be desperate to win this competition. They're the reigning champions. They destroyed Braga in the semi-finals last season, and I really think they should dominate this game. So putting the two of them together at minus 110.
All right. Got a couple of picks from Martin and a lot of questions. Buckets, go ahead.
I got a question for Martin, if that's okay.
I think it's okay.
Martin, on that money line option, I just know from experience that anytime I go past 130, people on Twitter are really, really mean to me. So I'm just curious your thoughts on adding Newcastle money line plus something like over 1.5 goals in the game gets you to even money, or do you think this is more of a cagey Newcastle performance and maybe Leeds don't score at all kind of deal?
I think if I wanted to get a bit more value on that pick, I would combine a Newcastle moneyline win with under 4.5 goals. I think that would get you into plus money territory. I don't see this one being a 5-goal thriller. Newcastle keep things pretty tight at the back. Leeds are reasonably solid in defence as well. So I think that would be the way to play it. If anyone has a complaint, you can at Buckets on Twitter and just
perfect.
Yeah, that's a good call. Real quick, Martin, Jeff Stenberg says, I was looking for something spicy and found Sunderland team total over 1.5 at plus 300. Is this a good spot for it?
Now, a little spoiler for one of my plays for the network show. I'm actually going for both teams to score in that Sunderland versus Brentford game. That's plus money. I think I've got plus 110 on that. And I do like that. I think Sunderland can score once, but I'm not convinced they can score twice, I'm afraid. It's been quite a while now since Sunderland scored twice in a single game, especially on the road. So I'd probably steer clear of that one if I were you, Jeff. But
let's do one NBA question for now. Luka Doncic under, I can't believe this total is what it is, Mikey B. Luka Doncic under 45.5 points plus assists is minus 115. Jay Long wants to know what you think about that.
I would lead under there. Second game of a back-to-back set for the Lakers. Luka had to play a lot last night. It was a close game. So, yeah, I would lean under there. LeBron might not play. He said after the game he's 41 years old and he's always going to be questionable for second games of back-to-back sets from here on out. So, but I'd still lean under on Luka.
Yeah, certainly understandable for LeBron to say that, but I'm sure he caught a lot of flack for that regardless. Let's go to the NFL, and we'll get back to some questions, soccer and NBA related. Rams minus 10, Danny Brasco. Again, this one ties in slightly to my future. And I do think the future is bright for the Rams. They're my Super Bowl pick. That's not my play for today, but they're my Super Bowl pick at around plus 430, plus 440. What do you like in the wild card round for the Rams?
Yeah, this line is actually already on the move. I got minus 10 on BetMGM. It's up to 10.5 on a lot of books. And I'm comfortable laddering this up alt spreads. I think they're going to win the game by 20 plus. Bold statement, but hey, there it is, Ben. Love to see it. Let's see if we can climb because, look, man, these Carolina Panthers, they got in the playoffs on a tiebreaker. They have the worst point differential of any playoff team in NFL history. Negative 69 point differential. We talked a bit about this on Monday's show, Sia, on the Early Edge CBS Sports Network show. The New York Giants had a negative 58 point differential, just for context. That's how it goes to show how weird some of these games have been. They have no wins as a favorite on the season, but tied an NFL record for 8 straight up wins as an underdog. And that point differential is seen in 8 games where they scored 14 or less points. Meanwhile, on the Rams side, the number one offense in football, 27 plus in 11 games this season. And we're looking at that last meeting where they curiously lost in what I feel like was a very fluky performance. First of all, it was a 31-28 win for the Panthers. It started raining in the second half. Stafford had a ball tip that ended up being a pick 6. The Rams went 4 for 6 in the red zone. They scored 28 points. And the Panthers went 0 for 1 in the red zone, but had 3 explosive plays to get in outside, just long bombs that were just very uncharacteristic of a Rams defense that's been pretty good this season. So I just don't see them giving up a pick 6 and 3 bombs again. Bryce Young, I think, is going to have a tough time in the playoffs. Sean McVay, another chance to prepare for this really inefficient Carolina Panthers offense. If the run defense is able to stop Rico Dowdle, I think Young is in a lot of trouble. And the Rams on the other side are just going to hang a number that the Panthers cannot keep up with. So give me the Rams in a major way. I have no problem laying the double digits on them. I think they smoked the Carolina Panthers. Like I told Taft on one stream, I'm sorry to bring this up, Taft, again, but this Saturday, what is it, game Saturday, Sunday? We're having roasted Panther for dinner.
Yeah, Taft, a big Carolina Panthers fan. Typhoon says, I thought the Rams were going to blow out the Panthers the first time. By the way, I thought that too. I laid the points in that one as well. One of my few ATS plays. Panthers had some big plays in that one and a defensive touchdown. I don't see this game going the same way, says Typhoon. Rams minus 10 is easy.
And Panthers had 7 penalties for 7 yards too. It took 3 turnovers, a pick 6, and the Rams were driving at the end of the game to tie the game. They had a chance to either tie or go ahead with a field goal or touchdown, strip sack to end the game. So just everything went wrong.
It's true, but I will say this, and I like your play, and I would lay the points too. but it's not like everything went wrong because of unforced errors. Like Carolina's defense, was bothering Matt Stafford in that game. But I do think now that, first of all, I do want to mention, I think this is a 4:30 game, I believe, or 4:15 on Saturday, I believe. Either way, it's not a
4:30 Saturday game.
So I think that's important because anytime a West Coast team is coming over for a 1 o'clock game, I do think that's different than coming over for a 4:30 game. And obviously coming off that loss, I think they're going to be ready for this game. So this ties in nicely. We'll get to your questions in a second, folks. My pick is a future, which you can find, I'm pretty sure, at every book. I know at BetMGM and DraftKings you can find this. Super Bowl winning division. I've got the NFC West at plus 135. Now, you might be thinking, well, he's probably thinking Seattle and the Rams are going to win the Super Bowl. And if you wanted to just take them as they're at the Super Bowl numbers, which is in that plus 330, plus 430 range, respectively, you'd actually make more money. But this contemplates actually including the San Francisco 49ers. Now, I don't think the San Francisco 49ers are going to win the Super Bowl right now. They're in that 25 to 30 to 1 range. But I definitely think there's an outside shot of that. And I also think that Seattle and the Rams are just way better than the AFC teams and most of the NFC teams. So I like the Super Bowl winning division, NFC West. Now, I will say this. It's possible that if all the favorites win, that the Rams play Seattle in the next round. Now, I don't think all the favorites are going to win. I could see the Packers upsetting the Bears and maybe San Francisco upsets the Eagles. But if you get that scenario where you've got the Rams playing the Seahawks in the second round, I don't think that's necessarily a negative because at least we have one of those teams guaranteed going to the next round. But I do think the ideal scenario is for both of those teams, the Rams and the Seahawks, to meet in the conference championship and have one of those teams go to the Super Bowl. Either way, I think it's Seattle, I think it's the Rams, or I think it's the San Francisco 49ers, and with a heavy emphasis on those first two, and that is plus 135. Danny Brasco, any thoughts there? Do you think, we talk about the AFC a lot, do you think there's an AFC team that can beat whether it's Seattle or the Rams in the Super Bowl? I know, I understand anybody can beat anybody, but I'm just saying these are the two best teams in the NFL, and there's a gap after them.
Yeah, I kind of like the draw of the NFC West. Obviously, you're getting great, if you get plus money for 3 powerhouse teams this season, that's a good pick. I just can't see Sam Darnold winning a Super Bowl. That's not in my mind's eye. AFC-wise, man, if the Jaguars beat the Bills and they get Josh Allen out of the playoffs, they might be a train that you have to buy.
Yeah. Now, Buckets, I know you have other obligations you got to get to. We'll see you on CBS Sports Network. As for the rest of the soccer questions, I know Martin Green, you can handle those. Buckets, any last words on the show today?
My last word is a little bonus Serie A parlay because I know we didn't touch upon that a lot. Martin's already on Napoli. I'm parlaying Napoli money line with Inter Milan money line, minus 115. Just a little bonus lean for the two heavy dogs that need to win to stay in the title race.
All right, Buckets, thank you very much. See you very soon on CBS Sports Network. Go ahead.
What I just realized is every time we say see ya, I'll see you later, it's also your name. That's fun.
Just realized that.
That's fun. All right. See you guys.
See you, Buckets. That's good. That's just a perfect ending for him. Brentford moneyline minus 125 asks Steve Folkerts, Martin.
I'm a bit wary about betting against Sunderland right now. They have a lot of good players missing who have gone to the Africa Cup of Nations, but they're just still so strong. I think they've drawn their last 4 games. They have this never say die attitude, and I would be reluctant to bet against them right now. So not for me, I'm afraid, on that one. I'm going both teams to score on that game.
Martin Business says Palace versus Villa, or is it Villa, over 2.5 goals.
Aston Villa. I think it could just about go over 2.5 goals. As I agreed with John earlier. That sounds good because I think Villa can score twice and Palace should get on the score sheet as well. So, I think that looks good. I'm looking at just a straight money line win for Aston Villa there at plus money. I think it's plus 130.
Mikey B, two things. There's some questions there's actually a play from Big Cheesy, Quentin Grimes over 12.5 points, minus 115. I don't know if you want to comment on that, but then there was a question from Swizz B, Mikey B, Vucevic over 4.5 assists at plus 115.
So I'll address Grimes first. There is some question about who's going to play for the 76ers tonight. Joel Embiid is listed as questionable. He has played 6 of the last 7 games for the 76ers, which is basically a Lou Gehrig streak for him. But they're playing the Wizards, so they might just give him the night off. And then Kelly Oubre could be coming back tonight. He's listed as questionable. So that's a little bit risky, Big Cheesy. I don't mind if you want to take it because there's a very real chance that Embiid and Oubre don't play, and then that becomes a great one. So
Sticking
I don't mind
Go
it,
ahead.
but just keep that in mind. Then Vucevic, yes, I would lean over there playing the Pistons. No Josh Giddey, so they do run more of the offense through Vucevic, so more opportunities for assists and plus money, so I don't mind that.
And thoughts on Maxey staying in that game, that Sixers game, over 35.5 points and assists?
Yeah, I'm fine with that because Maxey could easily score 27 or 28 points against the Wizards in 3 quarters, so I don't mind that.
All right. Who do you think's winning the Super Bowl, Mikey B?
Doesn't this feel like this is one of the biggest toss-up years in a long time? I would lean towards the Rams. Simply, like Danny said, it's hard to say, I think Sam Darnold is going to win a Super Bowl. It doesn't really flow off the tongue. This is the perfect spot for the Bills, but I just don't think they have enough defense to be able to make it.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Let's get to a couple of more soccer questions. Man City money line and a Haaland goal -120.
I definitely think Haaland could score. Yeah, I don't see why not. They've got a real problem. All of their defenders are injured. They drew last time with Sunderland 0-0, and Gvardiol and Ruben Dias both limped off injured. They're both out long term. John Stones is already injured. They've got a real defensive crisis, so this could be quite tough for them. I'm not sure if Man City are going to win this game. As an Arsenal fan, I'm going to be cheering on Brighton. They beat Man City 2-1 earlier this season, and they do have enough firepower to capitalise on Manchester City's defensive issues. So I'm actually going the other way on this game. I'm going for Brighton plus 1.5 on the spread. But Haaland should score. Haaland's inevitable. He always scores.
All right, Crispy Scott, a.k.a. Chris Kish. One last soccer question here. Foden is plus 165 for anytime goal scorer and -125 to score or assist in City versus Brighton. Any interest, Martin?
I'd always go for the more cautious to score or assist with a player like Foden, who's not an out-and-out striker. As a playmaker, he can get goals, but he can also pop up with assists. So, yeah, I'd prefer the second option. I have Foden in my fantasy football team, so I hope he does deliver on that. But I still want Brighton to win.
Mikey B, I think it was Giuseppe wondering about Derek White. Do we continue to ride? What was it? The rebounds and assists prop?
Yeah, so he says that's 10.5 at plus money. It's actually 11.5 at plus money. I ran to that this morning. That was one of the first ones I checked. 11.5 is just too much. I understand it's plus money, but that's just, I can't play that.
By the way, Typhoon says Sixers might try to blow out the Wizards after that awful loss to Denver. Mikey B, do you want to apologize for all your Wizards hate? I feel like they're the best team in basketball right now.
Well, I'm really salty about the Wizards right now, and let me tell you why. Last night, I took Wendell Carter Jr. over 8.5 rebounds. He had 7 halfway through the third quarter. And then the Magic pulled everybody because the Wizards decided that they weren't going to miss anything. And then they never brought, this is another discussion. So the Magic came back. I believe they cut it to 4 or 2 points.
2. They cut it to 2.
2 points. Bring the starters back in. Bench guys can't play that long. They get tired. I understand it's the bench guys that brought you back in the game, but geez Louise, you could tell they were gassed. The last 4 minutes, they should have brought some of the starters back in, namely Wendell Carter Jr. to get 2 more rebounds. I don't like the Wizards, Sia. Don't like it.
You've never liked the Wizards. They can shoot. They've got some shooters.
Well, CJ McCollum, I mean, when he's on, he can still score. He doesn't. He looks like he's gained a couple of pounds. I don't know if it's the uniforms or whatever. We all gain a few pounds as we're aging. I'm not, but he can still score. He's still got all the moves and all the shots. He's still very, very good.
All right. I think that'll probably do it. Danny, did you see anything? Gipper's picks had a fight pick. I don't know. Did you see that? Because, okay, there we go. Well, tell me about that, Danny.
Yeah, he's saying that he hammered the over 3.5 rounds at plus 108 in Nunes versus Harrison. Super fight, women's bantamweight fight. And Amanda Nunes money line plus 170. Can't wait for this one to go down. I like the way he's playing it because the way I see it, the finishing upside is on Nunes, the great striker, legendary striker. Yes, Harrison can overwhelm her with the physicality. She's got the ability to submit you with those Kimura arm locks, the rear naked chokes. But Amanda Nunes is top-tier Brazilian jiu-jitsu, defensively, offensively. I don't see her getting Kimura'd or submitted. So if Harrison is winning the fight, it's probably using her physicality to grind against her in the fence, clinch up, take her down. And if Amanda Nunes is doing well, she's keeping her at range on the feet, piecing her up with her kickboxing. So I like those two ways to play it. Nunes doing well with her striking, pulling ahead as a big plus money dog, which is very curious to see the market going against the GOAT Nunes. They really rate Harrison really taking over this title now. So maybe she's here to stay, but I think this fight goes deep no matter what. The over 3.5 is a good play. Sia, I also had one other thing to mention. There were some questions about Australian Big Bash League cricket. I entered bash into the lexicon, and look where it's taken us. We bash the like here every day at the Early Edge. But I haven't given out Australian Big Bash cricket plays because the games are at 3 a.m. Eastern time. And right before each game in cricket, there's a coin toss, which determines who's going to bat or bowl first. The odds flip maybe 30, 40 cents based on the coin toss because you get to dictate the strategy in which you want to play the game. And so I can't really be updating people on, hey, take this now, right? I really liked playing live run totals. I've been staying up for some of these games, Sia, from like 3 to like 6 a.m. and coming to the show like depraved, no sleep. Dude, I've lost several like minus 750s that I lost like flip on me in the last, few overs of the game. So it's too variant. It's too crazy. You can't lose sleep over it. That's my cricket rant. I'll get back to you guys in Indian Premier League when that kicks off.
All right, finally, last question. I got to get this in because I'm not familiar with this name. Frosty the Budman. Mikey B, Clippers money line. Any thoughts? I know it's a great name.
James Harden's questionable, so you can't do anything with the Clippers until you find out whether James Harden's going to play.
Well, Ben is saying we need a 4 a.m. early edge to live bet cricket. So Danny Brasco, you need to volunteer for that. I'll host it.
All right. If you'll host it, I'll be here.
That's not a Pampers parlay. That's like waking up for newborn feeding bets. Like that's the demographic you're going for there.
We'll have one person watching, but it'll be worth it. All right. Well, we got a lot of people watching now. Thank you, everybody, for being in here. Here's the recap screen. Super Bowl winning division. I'm going with the NFC West at plus 135. Buckets likes Crystal Palace versus Aston Villa. Aston Villa over 1.5 team total. Plus 120 is the play. Everton versus Wolves. Both teams to score minus 110. Martin Green, Newcastle moneyline minus 138. And a parlay, Napoli moneyline plus Benfica. Draw no bet. Minus 110. Then we go to the NBA. VJ Edgecombe over 9.5 rebounds and assists at minus 122. And Con Knipple over 17.5 points at minus 127. Of course, those courtesy of Mikey B. Going right back to the NFL. Rams minus 10 against Carolina at minus 110. And Danny's talking about laddering that spread up because he thinks they are going to dominate. College basketball, Larry Hartstein comes in with St. Louis plus 2.5 at minus 108. Like I said, we'll be on CBS Sports Network at 12. We're going to have a lot of college football talk, some soccer talk as well. And just so everybody knows, a lot of that content once it's done, gets cut up and put on the SportsLine YouTube channel. So make sure you are subscribed to the SportsLine YouTube channel. And please make sure you sign up for the Splash Sports contest so that we can do these next year, maybe weekly as well, with a lot of free money on the line. Again, splashsports.com/early edge gets you right to the contest. It's free. First place, $1,500. All right. Everybody's saying they appreciate you, Martin. We're going to see you later today on CBS Sports Network. Thanks, everybody, for being in here. James Rainwater, Big Cheesy, Swizz, Kenny McCarthy, Big Rhodey is in here. Liddy, of course, is in here. Farzad, appreciate everybody being in here. We went long again today. It was mostly because of your questions. We'll be here tomorrow with an unbelievable cast. You're going to love the cast tomorrow as well. See you next time on The Early Edge. We rest our case.